The film opens with Alex, a journalist who is about to get married and needs to travel to New York. Unfortunately, her flight is canceled, leaving her extremely upset. At the same time, Dr. Ben is also trying to reach New York for an important surgery. If he fails to arrive in time, his patient will die. The flight cancellations create intense stress for both of them. Noticing Ben's anxiety, Alex approaches him and tells him that they are facing the same problem and that she may have a solution. Because of her work as a journalist, she has many contacts, including a private pilot. She proposes that they hire the pilot to fly them to Dundee. From there, she can continue on to New York while Ben can head wherever he needs to go. It is a dangerous idea because the weather is terrible and all flights have already been canceled. But the pilot agrees to take them for $800. Alex includes Ben in the plan partly because she knows he can afford the expense and because traveling together would make things easier. Their journey begins and they discover that the pilot has even brought his dog along. However, the danger grows when they learn that the pilot never filed a flight plan. This means no one, not even air traffic control, knows they are in the air. Midway through the trip, the situation becomes even worse when the pilot suddenly starts feeling unwell. Ben realizes that the man is having a heart attack. The attack kills him almost instantly, causing the plane to crash. The crash badly damages the aircraft, but Alex and Ben survive after landing in the snow, although both are seriously injured. The pilot is dead, and Ben sadly buries him before returning to care for Alex. He treats and bandages her wounds, but she remains unconscious from weakness. Ben waits for hours until she finally wakes up, only to tell her the shocking truth that she had been passed out for a long time. By the time Alex regains consciousness, nearly a full day has gone by. Her wedding is now ruined, and instead of celebrating, she finds herself trapped in a nightmare. Because their flight was never registered, no one knows their plane went down, which means no rescue team is coming. They have almost nothing to survive with. The only supplies they have are the clothes on their backs, a few dried fruits, and some biscuits. They spend their days sitting in the wrecked plane, wondering how they will ever escape. That same day, they hear a plane overhead and feel a sudden wave of hope. Ben quickly fires a flare gun to attract attention, but he is too late. The plane is already far away, and their hope is crushed. For 3 days they continue waiting, believing someone might come, but when no one appears, Alex becomes frustrated and determined not to remain there any longer. She decides they must take action if they want to survive. Ben warns her that her leg is in very bad condition and tells her it is unsafe for her to move. For the moment, he manages to stop her. After 3 more days pass and Alex keeps insisting, Ben finally agrees to climb a nearby hill to see what lies beyond it. He tells her that if there is a town or city on the other side, they can decide what to do next. Before he leaves, Alex gives him her camera and says that the lens will help him see farther. She also tells him that if he ever thinks saving himself is the only option, he should do it and not worry about her, since she feels he is in this situation because of her. Ben replies that if he truly wanted to abandon her, he would have done so days ago. When Ben reaches the top, he is devastated to find nothing but endless mountains in every direction, with no sign of human life anywhere. As he starts making his way back down, he suddenly slips and begins sliding toward a massive ravine. He is in terrible danger, but fortunately his foot catches on a rock and saves him. Summoning all his courage, he manages to climb back up. While Ben is away, the dog at the plane starts barking wildly. Alex realizes that something dangerous is nearby. Looking outside, she sees a cougar. Because of her injured leg, she cannot run. The dog bravely tries to defend her, but the cougar wounds it as well. Then the animal enters the damaged plane and attacks Alex. Thankfully, Alex still has the flare gun. She fires it several times, killing the cougar and saving herself. Hearing the shots, Ben knows something is terribly wrong and rushes back to the plane. When he arrives, he is horrified by all the blood. but inside he finds Alex alive and unharmed. The blood belongs to the cougar, and he is relieved to know she is safe. He then uses the first aid kit to stitch up the dog's neck wound. Afterward, they prepare the cougar meat and finally get a proper meal. Later, Alex suggests that since her phone has no signal, maybe Ben should try climbing a hill with his phone to see if it works there. Ben refuses, saying he nearly died the last time and would rather wait in hopes that someone eventually finds them. Alex argues that if rescue were coming, it would have happened already. Their disagreement becomes heated, and Ben goes to sleep bitterly, blaming her for the situation. Alex is deeply hurt by his words and leaves the next morning before he wakes up. When Ben wakes up, he finds a note from Alex saying that she is taking the dog with her, and that if she finds help, she will send someone back for him. Alarmed, Ben gathers his things and goes after her, knowing she cannot get far with her injured leg. When Alex sees him following her, she becomes emotional, and from that point the two begin to grow closer. As they travel together, a strong bond starts to form between them. Alex becomes increasingly exhausted and eventually has to rely on Ben for support. After traveling for a long time, they find only a small cave, where they decide to spend the night. They have enough food for only 3 more days, and they understand that everything depends on what they do within that time. They may never be lucky enough to find food again. The cold is brutal. Although they light a fire, it is not enough to keep them warm through the night, so they huddle close together to stay alive. The next day, they continue on and eventually leave the snowy area, entering a forest. They come upon a beautiful valley, and Alex begins taking photographs. Then she notices a tower in the distance that appears to be man-made. For the first time in a while, they feel real hope that people may be nearby. As they head in that direction, Alex asks Ben more personal questions about his life and his marriage, but he avoids answering. After walking a great distance, they discover that the path ends abruptly at a ravine. If they go any farther, they will surely fall to their deaths. Alex is crushed by the sight and asks Ben whether he still believes they can survive. Ben admits that they may die, but says that as long as they remain brave, they must keep trying to save themselves. They turn back and search for another way. When night comes, they sleep beneath a tree. The next morning, they realize they have no food left. Alex worries about the dog and asks Ben to go look for it. He reluctantly agrees, and while searching, his luck finally changes when he discovers a cottage. It is the very same cottage Alex had seen through her camera lens earlier. Overjoyed, he begins inspecting it, but before he can bring Alex there, the ground beneath her starts to crack. She realizes she has been standing on a frozen lake that is about to give way. Alex calls out to Ben, but before he can reach her, the ice breaks and she plunges into the freezing water. She struggles desperately, but Ben arrives and risks his own life to pull her out. He carries her to the cottage, removes her wet clothes, and builds a fire. She is in terrible condition from the cold and soon loses consciousness. Ben knows that if she does not wake up, she could die. She is badly dehydrated and may even fall into a coma. Ben searches the cottage for anything that might help and finds a medical kit containing a pin similar to an 4 needle. Although he knows it could be risky, especially if the chemicals are old, he has no other choice. He melts ice for water, sterilizes the needle as best he can, and slowly begins rehydrating her. Alex is fortunate to have a doctor with her, because Ben's efforts throughout the night save her life. The next day, Alex wakes up, and Ben is relieved to see that his desperate treatment worked. They remain in the cottage for several days to recover. It is much warmer there, and they have enough food and water to survive. During this time, their connection deepens, and Alex begins developing feelings for Ben. Wanting to understand him better, she listens to his voice recorder while he is away. There, she hears the voice of his late wife. When Ben catches her listening, he becomes furious. Alex explains that she only wanted to know him better. Eventually, Ben opens up and tells her that his wife died of a brain tumor 2 years earlier. He becomes emotional, and Alex comforts him. They remain together in the cottage until Alex is strong enough to continue. Once she feels better, Alex tells Ben that he should leave her behind and go get help so that at least one of them might survive. Ben tries to do so, but he cannot bring himself to abandon her. He comes back and stays with her. Though Alex is still weak and can barely move, Ben continues helping her along the way. At one point, Alex collapses from exhaustion, so Ben places her on a log and drags her across the snow. They travel a great distance until Ben is exhausted too. Both of them lie down to rest, and while they are asleep, the dog tries to wake Ben. With barely any strength remaining, Ben stumbles and tumbles down a slope. He could easily have died, but by sheer luck, he spots a settlement below. Filled with hope, he pushes forward with Alex, convinced they are finally close to being saved. But then disaster strikes again when Ben steps into a bear trap. It pierces deeply into his foot, and he is left in excruciating pain. He tells Alex to leave him and go for help. Alex does not want to abandon him, but she understands she must hurry before the cold or wild animals reach him. Struggling through pain and exhaustion, she finally reaches a road and collapses just as she sees a truck coming toward her. Ben also loses consciousness. When Ben wakes up, he finds himself in a hospital. This means they were both rescued. Their courage and determination have brought them through. He goes to see Alex, and the two are overwhelmed with relief to still be alive. Soon after, Ben meets Alex's fiancée, who thanks him for saving her life. After that, they go their separate ways. Ben considers calling Alex, but hesitates because he assumes she is now married. Alex also does not contact him right away. Then one day, she sends him the photograph she took at the cottage. Deeply moved by the images, Ben agrees to meet her. Alex asks why he never called, and Ben says he did not want to interfere with her married life. Alex then reveals that she never actually got married. Although she cared for her fiancé, she could not deny what she felt for Ben. Overjoyed, Ben reunites with her, and the movie ends with the two of them together.